Hello, the game has started. It's my opponent to go first. I've got the blank, which is great, but the rest of the rack is awful. 5 vowels, including 2 U's, and 2 more played. So, what to do here? Really tempting to change. Is there any reason why I shouldn't change? The only move I can see on my rack is AYU. For 21 points, I think that just about is justifying the play rather than changing. Well, a lot better rack. There could be a bingo here, but still a vowel heavy rack. So, where are the floaters? Just the N. Nice bingo by opponent. And a couple more floaters. Does the G assist? I don't think so. Now I have autocade. Fantastic. Do I have any alternatives? And I don't think I do. This is a 5 vowel 8 for 62. And a pretty good pickup. May not be a bingo here, but it's a balanced rack, and I've got the J for score. And certainly without the J, the rest of the rack is fantastic. So, could there be a bingo here? Well, I'm not seeing a 7. What about the floaters? Well, just the N in terms of consonants. Then we've got the A of autocade. And the G isn't available because nothing goes in front of the C. Now, opponents played, good score, 44 points. I note that Strange takes an E in front, which could be useful, with this triple letter square to its left. Now, opponent does actually play a floater which makes a bingo, but not in the right spot. I have jaw lines through a W. So I can't play that. Do I have anything else through this W? And again, it's in the wrong spot for Wilger. So I'm not seeing anything. Not seeing anything with the O. Can I get the J tripled? Well, yes, because of Geons. It burns the S, but it's 56 points. Not bad. Looks close to a bingo. I don't think there's a 7 here. I do have an E now for S Strange, and my M can go in front. And my A can go in front of IU, so I could play AMI. That's nice. I don't think that can be made any longer. Just 14 points between us, and opponent plays. And just 11 points between us now. So my AMI spot remains available. What about the C of autocade? Do I have anything which burns the M and the H? Well, I do. I have Matchy. 39 points. What would... Well, I don't have AMIE. I have AME, which would keep 2 I's. And only about 37 points, so Matchy is a better play. Wow, pretty good. Balanced, and with the Z for score this time. I would have Royalize through an A. Wow, which Matchy has blocked, the A of Strange. Now, wow, I have Yes in row F. Will that stay available? Well, it does stay available, but fantastic bingo by opponent using the Q. Cliquea for 73, and I trail. So let me see what Yes scores. .45, pretty good score. Now, what about the A of Strange? So I have Zoe in that spot for 64 points. Can I make that go further? and I don't think I can. Any TZ plays in row H? I don't think so. I am going with Zo. Am I? Yes, I am. And this looks good. Looks very close to a bingo. I have relying, but are there any 7-letter lanes on the board? Not sure there are. So what about C and L? Just looking at the C, not seeing a bingo with that, which is a shame. And opponent doesn't create a new lane. Nothing goes in front of DI. Strange does take an R. But I'm not seeing a bingo with the H or the I. So what to do here? I do lead, but only by 2 points. Well, let me come back to row F. Will I finally get to play here? I can do, but it burns the E, which is a nice tile, but look at the score. If I play yeah, 36 points. Wow, tempting. I feel this is on the right track. Ryu is good, though. So 42 points, not providing anything. Yeah, I think this is a good play. Now, what about a play in column 12, hooking ZA? That would require the G. And I'm not seeing anything great. I am going with this. Well, looks fairly nice, but I'm not seeing anything with the C. I have a 40-point lead. Annoyingly, my duplicate tile is the floating vowel from Matchy, which duplicates it. Great, just 17 for opponent. Now, row D, placing not good. Is there an anagram which is? Don't think so. So what hooks does S strange have? D and S at the end. Possibly R as well. Nothing in front. Just wondering about burning a lot of tiles. There's still a blank to come. So what about clipping? 26 points and really setting up very little. I'm covering the double letter square for column 8. I am going with this. Well, through an E, I would have ornament and tenormen. But right now, the only floater is the I, and that suits me since I lead. Still a lot of E's to come. An opponent may be tempted to play in row H, sticking an E in the open, and if he does that, if it's in the last 3 spots, I am bingoing. So, do I have anything with the I? I have the man ending. Well, I am not seeing a bingo there. And the board's starting to tighten up. Now, what about column 12 because of ZA? Wow, and it's opponent who bingos. Brutal. I trail by only 13 points, but he's created nothing, and that is annoying. Wow, I was not expecting a bingo there. The board was feeling really tight. So what am I going to do? Still 20 tiles left, still a blank to come. So I could play moan. 21 points, keeping 3 consonants. Let me check the remaining vowels. 12 out of 27, fairly balanced. I could end up with 7 consonants or 6. Certainly a rack lever rant would be a lot better, only 1 A to come. Can't see anything in column 8. The score was pretty lame with moan as well, but I'm not going to score very much with this rack. One S to come for autocades. So, what about playing Mon, which does create a lane for an A, which I have. NI not good. And I do need to play an N. I could play Mong, but that's setting up a scoring spot for opponent. I don't have anything which hooks ZA. So what about getting value from the J? I think the best I can do here is MNA, but that's gifting opponent a 20 or 30 point play, and I'm only getting 15. So that's not great. 12 minutes on my clock. What about a play in row H? Well, I just don't have anything better than Trona for 18. Keeping MNT. I'm coming back to Moan for 21. And I do draw a couple of vowels, which is good. But I don't have a bingo. Moan only takes an S. And in respect of having a bingo, there are very few lanes on this board. I guess row E is a lane I haven't mentioned with this L. I hope I haven't overlooked a bingo with that. But that doesn't give me a bingo with my current rack. So 24 for opponent, he leads by 16. There is a floating E. Now, do I have a bingo through that? It feels jolly close. No, not seeing anything, but since D and E, and especially E, are so useful, it's really tempting now to open a new lane. So I could play tripped for 24. Yeah, creating a whole host of floaters and not gifting anything amazing for opponent. Is there a way of playing the O rather than the I? No, I don't think so. I'm going with this. And tripped not good. Okay, so I'm not going with that. Let me have another think. Do I have anything with the O? That is annoying. I could open a new lane by playing in column 3, but I can't do that without providing access to this triple word square. So I'm coming back to this take. Now, zap is good. But I think the best I can do here is poi. 33 points, maybe I should do that. Still a ton of E's to come. What I'm not doing is creating new floaters. But really tempted by this score. But if I draw one of the R's, I've got a horrible rack. But 33 points, 364, pretty good. And if the opponent doesn't have a bingo, he doesn't have anything. Wow, is this the play? I think it is. But is it? What about playing here? What about playing ripped for 18? Then I am providing a new floater, which opponent may worry about, and he may leave this E alone. And this is a much better rack lead than 4 consonants. Wow, if I played trip in this spot, I think that's too much with the E hook. Well, I still would rather play across from the T of Estrange, but I have failed to see a single play which goes in that spot. And I'm still thinking now, but it hasn't come to mind. So ripped or poi? I'm going with ripped. And I do not draw a bingo Iraq. I do have the K for score, but I'm not sure I can score very much with it. Remaining tiles looking fairly bingo-y apart from B, F and V. So what am I going to do here? I do need to play the K. Just 9. Oh, an opponent does have a bingo. Brutal. Absolutely brutal. Only 2 tiles left. So can I bingo back? Well, I think if I do, I would need to get rid of the K and the G. Can I do that? 8 minutes on my clock. Well, yes, I can play keg here. An opponent may outrun me. 8 points, 357. 64 points behind. And then I have D not for a, wow, for a bingo through either the O or the T. Is that the right play? I think it is, in the sense that I do need to bingo to win. But do I have an alternative play to this? Keg is a very, or 8 points is a very low score. And do I have to play the G? I think I have to split up D and G, so it's either keg or ked. And I prefer this. I'm going with this. Well, and I draw B and V, and opponent has a pretty nice rack. Very close to another bingo. So this has slipped away from me at the death. I have no bingo through any of the floaters on the board, or indeed as a 7. And I'm going to struggle to score. So V and B, the last 2 tiles in the bag. How grim. Opponent gets 30, which is a nice score. And he's left with EI, so he's got tie, he's got Phi, so he's certainly going out. This is my last play. Wow, close to verboten. So what am I going to do here? And, well, I've got verb. For 18 points. Can I do any better? Always slightly dispiriting when you're looking for the best losing play. And I feel I need to play the B and the V to maximise score. There's nothing through the T. What about top left? Dob. 27, 9 more points. Yeah, I think that's a slightly better play. I am going with this. And opponent surely going out with EI. Well, it's his choice as to whether he does, and I think it's a sensible one. If for any reason he doesn't, I'm not sure I can go out with vent. And opponent does go out. And the final score, 384 to me, 473 for my opponent, a winning margin of 89 points. So well done to my opponent. Let's see what I missed. Wow, what a game. So close for so long, and then finally killed off by opponent's late bingo. So opponent to go fast, he plays you-nor, and I play are-you for 21, and I like that. Great rack for opponent. Choice of bingos, plays strange. And I have auto-cade, which is the only bingo. Now, opponent's rack plays wowf. And I played Geons for 56, but I could have played JA with the A of strange for just 4 fewer points and keeping a much better rack lead. So that was definitely a blunder. And opponent's rack plays while. I play matchy for 39, but H11. Theme possible across from the T for a few more points with the same rack leave, so not much between those. Great bingo by opponent, clique here. And now I have Z and Zo for 64, which wouldn't have been available if I'd spotted the J play earlier, but that doesn't mean the J play was best. So, very close, just 20 points between us. Opponent plays do. Wow, glycerin or glycerin for 80 points. There was a bingo through the C. That is painful. That would have put me in a very strong position on a super tight board. So well done if you spotted that. And I didn't, and I played rye for 42 with a good rack lead. So not a huge amount between those, but glycerin, I think definitely a better play. Ling is not going to be worth 38 points, but it is going to be positive. Now, opponent's rack plays bar. No bingo for me. And I play cliping for 26 to turn over tiles with a blank unseen, and because there was nothing particularly worth preserving. And great bingo by opponent, laxities. And we are still very close, just 10 points between us. So I play moan for 21, which I didn't particularly like. Orant, N10. Okay, making do's and a stranger, good score, poor rack leave. Yeah, and then a whole bunch of similar plays, so I don't think moan was terrible. Opponent with the blank plays Devi. Well, no missed bingo here, and this is where I tried to play tripped. And there's nothing at H11, so there is no T play. What do? I play ripped for 18. N11, and I could have played that lower down. Interesting. Probably worth doing lower down. Well, difficult to say, but it certainly scores a few more points in that lower position. N10 Orpin I don't like with double T. Now, all fairly academic given opponent's following move where he bingos and pretty much secures the win with just 2 in the bag. So this is my rack. And I play keg, and although there were many more points available, I needed a bingo to win, so I could only play 1 or 2 tiles. Now, opponent's rack plays a rare, which was a great spot, and I have no bingo. I played dob for 27, and I could have played vo, A13, for 34. Yeah, which would have been 7 points better. And finally, opponent goes out with I'd for 8, which was best. So what a game. Super exciting and very close throughout, and some fantastic bingos by opponent. And let's just have a look at those. Well, strange, nothing amazing about that, but I think the following bingos of cliquea, fouettes and laxities were all excellent spots. So well done to my opponent on a fantastic victory. I hope you enjoyed watching that game, and I will see you next time.